Good evening, everybody. As we can see, these markets are still kind of indecisive mode, not really moving up, but not really moving down. Just kind of a Dow coming back to the 50. So what we'd really like to see is them starting to open things positive, taking the Dow back up above the T line, and the NASDAQ just been in a slow, steady uptrend. Traded lower today, but closed back up above the T line. Here's the important level right here. They can break up through there. A good indication that we're starting to see a lot of going into the new wave. Trying to think of what else. Over on the futures side, we've been short soybeans. You can see the bearish J-hook pattern. We're just staying short right now. We're moving our stop down to this level. So some very big profits in this one so far. And the other one right now that we're short is sugar. Stay short until we see a buy signal and a close above the T line. The dollar came back up. Notice that it didn't do a reversal, just a bounce. And notice where it kind of failed, right up here at the 50. So if it starts backing off, that's kind of an illustration of if you have a bullish reversal signal, usually you've got a lot more upside potential. If it's just an up day, no reversal signal, usually they fail at the first major resistance level. And, got a few people that are short live cattle. You can stay short. Anticipation is a wee little gap to fill right here and or coming back to the 50. Lean hogs has not been able to, jumping around here, hasn't been able to get back up above the T line. You can still short this one. If it comes down or trades lower tomorrow, that tells you got a wave one, wave two, going into wave three. Let's see. Two more. Crude oil bounced back up. Yeah, not a real strong reversal signal down here. So more than likely they're going to kind of fade this back to the T line. But once again, it looks like crude oil is going to be kind of stuck in between the probably the $47 to $54 range for a while. And look at gold. Gold trading positive after hours. I would suspect we're still heading for the 200, which means some of these starting to see a little bit of buying coming back into Nugget. AU was a gold stock that's doing kind of a J-hook pattern. Notice the bullish Harami, smack dab on the 20 this time. All right, let's see what we got. We're going to kind of take a look at the ones we do have, just to kind of review why we're in some of these. Notice the patterns that we're setting up on Cool. Now, Cool jumped up big today. Still have a stop here, but it was up big enough during the day to kind of say, all right, what's my 10-minute chart telling me? Should I be taking some profits? Let me make this a little bit smaller. So at one time when it was up here, that's where you can start taking some profits, because if you're this far away from the T-line after gapping up, expect some profit taking. All right, some of the other ones, this one's not exciting, but it's still heading in the right direction. Whoops. UCTT, just a nice steady eddy to the upside. And AKAO, still coming off this cradle pattern right here off the 50. I'd be a buyer still of this one if they open this one positive. Notice how they've drifted it back in 3 days, but with very indecisively. Bounced off the T-line. If it opens positive, you definitely want to be buying. AMD, you can see the wedge formation on this one. It broke out to the upside. I'd stay long on this one, with now the expectation being coming up here, so up into this trend channel. So this is just kind of giving you high probability setups that you're now in a new perspective or a new trend, that once they break out of these wedges, they usually move them pretty strong for a while. BBRY also, after it gapped up yesterday, notice what it did. It came all the way back down here. I wouldn't want to see it close down here, but came back up. Because of the kicker type signal, I'd expect more upside, 45 degree. And we recommended REGI if it broke out. This was a case too where they opened it and immediately traded it lower. Doesn't get rid of our J-hook pattern. So you can still be a buyer if it comes up through this level, telling you they're breaking out into new territory. FTNT. There's that gap up through the resistance level. Look for the 45 degree up here. MZOR was just as, oops, what did I do here? MZOR. Ever since it broke out through here, nice strong price move. We did Nugget. Here's another one that is right at the breakout level. After a left-right combo gap up, if this opens positive tomorrow, probably be looking at some calls on this one or a call spread. And Kiwi is another one that has been consolidating, but you can see how it's been basing, slow, kind of slow curve. Definitely can buy this if it breaks out through this level, taking you into a J-hook pattern wave 3. PAW, not very exciting, but at least staying above the T-line. Let's see, some other ones that are looking interesting right now. And I say looking interesting, there's not a whole lot looking interesting just because of the condition of the market. It's not giving us a whole lot of oomph one way or the other, either in the Dow or the NASDAQ. As we can see, there's just kind of a lack of direction. So when you start getting this lack of direction, your, let's say, potentials start narrowing down. But at least when you see the potentials that are working, you know there's something going on. If the market's kind of flat and they're still showing good, strong signals, that means something's going on individually in those charts. This is NDRM, kind of breaking out through here after a doji sandwich type setup. AKTX, another one that came out of nothing. Make this smaller. This was junky trading all along in here. Slow drifting. And apparently whatever they announced, gotten lots of enthusiasm. You can still be a buyer of this one with the expectation of a 45 degree. AXDX, that's a nice little doji sandwich. Notice where it bottomed. Bullish engulfing right on the 200. Bullish engulfing right on the 200. Doji sandwich. I would suspect they're going to at least bring this back up into this range. HDP broke out. Look at the T-line crunch. You can be a buyer of this one with the expectation it's going to come back up into that trend trajectory. And what else we got here? ESPR. This is where you kind of observe the obvious. The obvious is you got a steady uptrend. You had a big, powerful reversal back up here. Now notice what it's doing right off the 20 and kind of this trend. I wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow and just stay with it as long as it stays above the T line. GMNK. There's your J-hook pattern. Doji sandwich, McMuffin, Morningstar signal followed by a doji sandwich. I'd be ready to buy this one on anything above 1350, which would be breaking out through this level, obviously, and breaking out through this level, telling you you're now in a new range. FBR, the kicker signal, J-hook pattern, break up through the 50. Should have a lot more upside, should at least be coming up here to fill this gap, at least about a 10%, 15% upside potential before you hit the resistance level. Hubs, there's your best friend. Again, this is where you use convergence analysis. Hammer doji at the 50, at the same level you bottomed out before. Then they gap it up through the T-line and confirm it today. There's your next target, probably up here in this range. So this type of stock that might not have a huge percentage move, but basically a little over a 10% move back up here with a high probability of getting there, that's the type that you want to put option trades on because it's probably going to move in a much more steady fashion to get to the resistance levels. J-hook pattern on ORCB. Left-right combo, breakout through this level. Definitely can be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow also. Whoops. There's your best friend. Where did this occur? Right where the last best friend occurred. Where's your next target? Probably at least up to this level. That's on FSM. CNX. You can see the fry pan bottom. You can see the fact they got through the 50. You can still be buying this one with the anticipation. There's, I think, a wee little teeny gap right there, giving you a good 10% plus. We recommended MLX the other day when it broke up through this level. Again, your best friend can anticipate coming back up to this level. And put this one on here. You can see what's happening. It's broken out. You're probably in another steady eddy on this one. You can be buying this one. Just stay long as it stays above the T line. The biotechs got hit a little bit today. Cala came right back down to the T line. Now you have to see it. Definitely have to see it open positive. Cara needs to get back up above the T line and keep this upward trend channel in progress. And Court closed right on the T line. It needs to open positive. If it opens lower, it's probably coming back down to this level. You can see anytime you can see 2 points and another point, you can basically throw your trend channel on here. Whoops. Oh, off. Backwards. You got kind of a trend channel, which means that's potentially your next likely target. All right, on the short side, UFS, still in a bearish J-hook pattern. Stay short on this one. SPPI, kind of rolling over. You can be shorting this one with the expectation they could be bringing it back down into this area or right around the 50 area. ACN, it was a kicker signal, failed the T-line. If it trades back below today's low, meaning it's not going to support at the 200, you can be shorting it still. An MMYT, another one that failed to get back up above the T-line, failed right here at this level. If it comes down through the 50, they're bringing it back down to either this level or this level. So that becomes a good short. And CTRL, left-right combo, another one they could drop all the way back down to the 50. Unfortunately, there's not as many vibrant situations going on right now just because the market is kind of moving sideways. Amazon, we've put a nice call spread at different levels. Amazon's got the potential of going to 1,000 just based on a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. I mean, this is so obvious that this is where they bounced it right off the 50 doing a scoop type pattern. Notice how they gapped it up. Show you there's a lot of force to the upside. So this was 120 points. That's putting you right into about the 980, 1,000 range. So we got different spreads. The most aggressive one was buying the 910s and selling the 920s for a net of $1.95, which means if they could get this up above 920 over the next 3 weeks, your 195 goes to $10. Apple, just very, very slow. But it's in that 45 degree ever since we had that best friend signal. What's our strategy? You stay long until you see a sell signal and a close below the T line. Tesla's been stronger than bear's breath. It broke out. So I would suspect this one is now heading up into this trend channel. So that one could get up to the 350 area without too much problems. And Netflix. Nothing real major until they can break out through this level. Still needs to get up through there. And NVIDIA also stuck sideways. And this is why we would rather buy on a breakout versus trying to catch some extra, because you could have bought anywhere in here thinking it was going to break out, but until it does break out, it could be moving sideways. So you could be in this for 5, 6, 7, 10 days. So your money's tied up and you still don't know which way it's going to go. And the transportation index is kind of holding up in here. So it's telling us that we have a market that's not really moving with any great decisiveness. So that's about all I've got tonight. Nothing real exciting, only because I think everything's kind of in a wait and see mode. But the nice thing is you have a position like this in the portfolio. The rest of the trades can be relatively lethargic, and the returns from this trade is still giving you a good overall return. So with that, are there any general questions on candlesticks? If not, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. Oh, and I guess by now, do the ending double line. There you go. I've lost my spot. All right. Let's see. I thought we did Freeport. Freeport, you stay long as it stays above the T line right now. Nothing majorly exciting, probably heading for the 50, but not with any great force. Struggling with putting my intraday stop loss for NL. Oops. I don't know where I'll get NL, but FN. No, I did that backwards, didn't I? FTNT. When you have a chart like this, just to be comfortable, just put your stop below the T line. It shouldn't come back below that level. The fact that you had a best friend doji gap up, that alone should tell you the probabilities of heading higher is extremely strong. So the probabilities turn against you if they can close that for some reason back below the T line. BABA, you can stay long on this as long as it stays above the T line, but as you can see, the percentage move isn't very big or that great. However, as long as you can see how you're getting a lot of dark clouds, it's not moving with any great fury. If you like it, you just stay long. And Momo, same scenario, except the percentage return on Momo is probably going to be a little bit better. So all you can do with Momo right now is, since they broke it up through here, you're in a 45 degree, you just stay with that one. JD.com, get ready to buy this one if it breaks out through this level. If you're long, stay long, use the T line as your stop, but I'd be more of a buyer up through whatever the tops were today. Probably 31. I'd probably put a buy stop at 31.65 or so. And Priceline, another one that has to open positive to stay in it tomorrow. Get that one up there, didn't I? L. MPEL, just stay long. Another one that gapped up toward this resistance level. I'd be a buyer if it broke out through that level, if you're not long already. MTSI. Another one, you could be buying on positive trading because it would be breaking out through this level. You've got the buy signals at the bottom of the trend channel. Now you're kind of at the top of the trend channel. They open it positive. The top of the trend channel is not acting as a resistance anymore. You had your left-right combo, good steady move. Now you need to see it open positive. Now, if it opens lower and you were long, probably want to close it out because that means the top of this channel is acting as resistance. The biotech's getting soggy. I would suspect it's going to move, not with any great conviction, back to the T-line area, or the 50. And Wynn Resorts, it's ugly. If you're long, all you can do here is stay long. It's not a very consistent uptrend, so just don't let it close below the T-line. AMN, that's turned into a very soggy chart. I'd be out of it, mostly because there's no real direction to it. And you can look at it and not see anything that tells you you're in an uptrend or a downtrend. At best, could be going short with the anticipation they're bringing it back down to the 200, but that doesn't even look all that great. BCRX, dark candle. I would have been back out of it, shouldn't be in it right now. And nothing really telling you to be short. So I just wouldn't be in this one right now. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't. You can short it if you want to short it, but I'd short it below today's low. And CYH, no, I wouldn't be long or short. This one's just going to be drifting probably back until the it catches, or the 50 catches up. Noodles, ever since the little scoop type move, doji sandwich breakout, J hook. There's your left-right combo. You can stay long on this one. But you're in the overbought area. Well, they did kind of consolidate. Again, they went up through the 200, and they come back and test the 200 to see if it's going to act as support, which it did. NVMI, you could be buying this one on positive trading, breaking out through this whole area, getting you back up into this trend channel. And all you do is stay long as it stays above the T line. SYMC, you shouldn't be in this one. HIV has to open positive tomorrow to stay in it. AMX, stay short. Very J-hook pattern. They didn't support at the 200. You stay short until you see a buy signal. SBGI. Oh, that one, if you were long, it has to open positive tomorrow to stay in it. If it opens lower, they're bringing it back down to the 50. QLYS needed to break out, which it didn't do. So notice how we had a bearish engulfing signal right here. If you happen to be long, you stay long as it stays above the T line at this point. If you're going to go long, put your buy stop at 38.40, knowing it broke out again to the upside. Match Group, nothing wildly exciting on this one. Don't really have a reversal. That's not quite a bullish engulfing signal. And you're at this resistance level. You're going to have to fight through a lot of that downtrend resistance to get it to break out. MPEL, we did this one. That one you can buy if it breaks out into new territory. RGNX, another one that you can buy. If you're short, be ready to cover this on positive trading tomorrow. You're in the oversold area with a bullish Harami right on the 50. If it starts trading positive, you can be buying it. It'll at least pop back up and fill this gap, and then see if it comes up further from there. ASX had been a good steady eddy until they gapped it down the other day. Looks like they tried to bring it back up today. If you stayed in, which you probably shouldn't, but if you did, stay long if it opens positive tomorrow. If it opens lower and starts trading lower, close out the position. They failed at the T line. MCRB, still stuck in this range. This is another one where if you were buying it on positive trading, looking like it was forming up, and it came back into the trading range, it has to open positive to stay in it tomorrow. INNL, it's got a good looking chart. Make sure your volume is good. You can be buying this one using the T line as your stop on positive trading, but you want to make sure something like this at that price trades 800 to over 1 million of shares a day. AAOI needed to open positive and trade positive. I would have closed it out with it closing here, because this tells me that probably back in a slow trend now. I'd probably be someplace else at this point. AKTX, yeah, probably want to be watching. I'd be watching my daily chart and my 10-minute chart on a breakout like this. I know you were dozing off, Jim. RMAX just stays short. Whoops. L Brands stays short, so you see a buy signal. CM, nothing here. If you're short, you stay short. Definitely would not be long. So you see a buy signal and a close above the T line. Pool, yes. That's why you go to your 10-minute chart. If this opened lower tomorrow, I'd probably start taking profits. With it up here today, I would watch my 10-minute chart and maybe taking off half the position up at that area. Whoops. SLE. This one also has to open positive tomorrow to stay in it. Panera. Again, this is where you go to your 10-minute chart. Notice how far away you've moved from the T line. What do we expect coming out of a fry pan bottom? A big price move. Now we just watch our big price move a little bit more defined using the T line. CBRL. Cracker Barrel. I had my blackberry cobbler yesterday at Cracker Barrel. Nothing wildly exciting here until it breaks out through the 50, which is your downtrending channel. If you happen to be long the last couple of days, just watch to see what it does here. Otherwise, yeah, can't break through this level, you're not really going anywhere. Micron, just stay long as it stays above the T line. New Link, stay long as it stays above the T line. That doesn't look good, but I'd still watch to see if they open this positive and put you in that 45 degree. All right, Jamie. Stop loss on that link, I'd still use the T line. And HIMX. This one, if you closed out somewhere in here, get ready to buy this one on positive trading. Your J-hook pattern setting up nicely. Let's see, EXPE. You can go short if it opens lower tomorrow. Your doji gap down. This is why you want to make sure that when you get into a J-hook pattern, if you're buying here, you want to see it test up here. If you see another selling, get right back out of it. If it opens lower, anticipate they're coming back down to test the 50 on this one. Ranger, Range Resources, stay long, but if it starts trading lower tomorrow, close it out. Harley, you can be buying this one on positive trading. You can see there's the Morningstar signal. There's your doji sandwich, kind of. You got a McMuffin. I would anticipate it's coming back up to test the top of the trend channel. EXK, another slow curve. You can be buying this one. Make sure your volume's good. And CNAT. Stay long on this one. But you also need to see this open positive. If it opens lower, again, they're coming back to test the the T-line, you might come out of it and wait to see what it does at that level. ARWR, just not anything. I wouldn't be in this one. ProShares, again, it needs to open positive. If the S&P opens lower tomorrow, just watch to see what they do when they get back to the 50 again. We did use CTT, just a steady eddy. Stay long. We do this one. Report, stay long. Snap. Snap. Nothing. Kind of fizzled. Has no direction, which means if they aren't moving it one way or the other on a new offering, I'd come out of it. Massey got a long-legged doji. Makes this very simple. You shouldn't, probably at this point, you shouldn't be in it long or short. Once they came down through the T-line after this big move, should have been out of it. You shouldn't be in it until they see a buy signal and a close above the T-line. If you want to get in it, a buy stop just above this level. If they come up through there after this long-legged doji, that's the direction they decided to go. APOP, still kind of a ugly, not an ugly chart, nothing definitive. I'd be a buyer up in here, knowing that it's starting to J-hook. L Brands, no, don't see a target. Don't see any buying either. So if I was short, I'd just stay short, and I'd keep putting a stop just like I would on a long. I wouldn't want to see it trade at all back up above today's high and tomorrow's trading. So things that are moving in the right direction, and you know you're in the oversold area, that's why we've been moving our stops down as soybeans moves down, because we're in the oversold area. If there's ever a time they pop it back up, we want to be out pretty quick. I think we did BBRY. You just stay long on this one if you went long, or if it comes back up above today's open and tomorrow's trading after today's consolidation, this gap up kicker signal is still in effect. Nope, didn't do all these. AAOI, you should be out of this one. And Momo has to open positive, or at least you want it to open positive tomorrow. Okay, so what we need to see in the pre-market futures tomorrow is a positive open, telling us they're bouncing up off the 50. So if we see a positive open, then the next target is to get through the 20, which correlates with this downtrending channel. If it breaks through there, it could be again in wave 3. So as you can see, the pullback is not very decisive. Look at all the dojis we've had in here. Just not a very, we've seen positive open this morning too. No, we didn't, did we? I wouldn't, yeah, if it opened positive, it was only by a few cents. I wouldn't say 13, 14 points on a 21,000 market is indicative that they've went up 2 or 3 and then tanked. All right, well, 2 or 3 points in this market. I can remember the days when we sat around the office and said, wow, the Dow was up 10 points today. That was a huge day. That was back when I was a stockbroker in 1976 through 1984. We sat there thinking, man, if they move the market up 10 points over the next 10 days, that's 100 points in the market. Soda, you can be buying this one. You can see the slow curve breakout I would anticipate at least coming back up to test this area. So you can buy that one. Wouldn't hold on to it too long, but I definitely watch to see what it does once it gets up to the resistance level. You can short this one. You can kind of see there's a wedge. If they break this one, especially through today's low, I'd probably use today's low as a stop. If they start trading back down through there, I'd be selling. All right, one more, and then let's all go watch The Voice. I have to because Sandy watches it. ASA or ASPS. Doji's overbought. If it opens lower, I'd take my profits and get out because of that signal right there. If it opens positive, you've got a double doji set up. It means it's going to go higher. Okay, that was kind of a short session tonight. That was the final two, all right. But again, in these type of market conditions, there's really not a whole lot we can point out that looks exciting other than maybe taking some profits on the big movers. All right, everybody, get a good night's rest. We'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll see you then.